Which is the better morning to wake up to? Is it better to be cautious about how your day is going to go, or to be optimistic? Or is it better to be cautiously optimistic? Well, it depends on which stage of life you are in. Being cautious is for stages in life where you're seeking to preserve the good things you have. Cautiously optimistic is a slight improvement on the cautious approach to life. Unfortunately, when you deal with insecurities, this becomes your default, regardless of where you are or where you're trying to get to in life. If you like your stable day job and don't mind staying there for the foreseeable future, if you're hoping to keep your job at least and hopefully get a few promotions along the way, if you like the routine, then cautiously optimistic works. But if you would love to have a different and better life than you have now, then cautiously optimistic will just not do. A cautiously optimistic outlook will produce what it's meant to. This keeps you where you are with only minor improvements. Why? Because the state of your mind mirrors exactly the reality you are going to be living in for as long as you think that way. There's an inspired proverb in the Bible that says, "As a man thinks, so is he." Think about it this way. An already established company doesn't like risk because they want to avoid collapsing the huge business they've built. In their case, constantly scanning for risks makes sense. A startup, on the other hand, should be focused on opportunities. Their survival is not through caution. It's not through building the perfect product. No, their survival depends on how fast they can fail. Why? Because when bringing something new to the market, knowing what the market wants as well as what it doesn't want is key. Navel-gazing and constant self-focus, building a fully functional product with 100 features perfectly integrated, isn't how you find out what customers want. Or at least it's not how you find out in a way that will make the startup succeed. Now, something about the title of this video pulled you in to watch it, so you're probably in a startup phase in some area of your life. And so for you, thinking in terms of opportunities, not risks, is what you need. Being positive and optimistic is the way to bring new, exciting things into your life. Your mindset is your reality. It is the path you're walking on, and it is your destination. You might ask, what of all the problems that could arise? Shouldn't we be cautious? And the answer is a simple no. Caution is for trying to avoid danger or mistakes. You, on the other hand, are working towards failing as many times as you can. So it's the direct opposite of the approach you want to take. Solving problems is, of course, part of the journey of being optimistic and opportunity-minded. It's the default, but problems that arise are a side quest. Side quests can be fun and intellectually stimulating, sometimes even as much or maybe more than the main quest. But resist that temptation. Building a fun and exciting future is where your mind should be, not worrying about the tiny problems that pop up. Have faith that you can solve the problem when it arises. Where there's a will, there's a way. Impediments will announce themselves, so you don't need to focus on trying to look for them all the time. When they announce themselves when they're about to happen, note them down. Write out a solution if you have one. Solve it as if you expected it, not as though your world is ending. You don't need to be constantly watching out for what could go wrong. Instead, be excited for what will go right. Now, if being optimistic isn't something you're used to or you've been, as they say, mugged by reality, remember that keeping an optimistic mindset takes staying the course. It takes braving the initial resistance. As you choose to be optimistic and choose to pursue opportunities, you will notice that gaming things out in your mind is quite different than taking the actions in real life. There's a resistance you will encounter. Sometimes this resistance looks 10 feet tall. The good news about a lot of these is that they're just bluffing. There's no bite to the bark. After the scary initial resistance, you soon realize there's nothing there. The boss who's been awful because of their position is just some dude or dudette. The guy or gal you have a crush on is standoffish, simply as a defense mechanism. Far fewer people than you think will even consider creating a startup with your exact same idea for a product or service. If you choose to see the resistance for what it is, they will stop being so intimidating. You might even freeze once or twice, but that's all part of the process. You will blow past that initial resistance in due course. In summary, start existing in your optimistic reality. Trust that the rest will take care of themselves. Put yourself out there, excited about the opportunities you will find, not afraid of all the ways you could fail. The future is so bright. Believe it. Know it.
If you found this content useful, leave a like and subscribe. Together, let's see if we can reach 50 subscribers by the end of this month. And share your thoughts in the comments section. Would love to hear from you. All the very best.